Hey, it's now Monday, June 27th. And as I said, today is my older sister Stephanie's 70th birthday. 70. I'll put a picture right here of her less than 2 weeks ago. I have always been very close to my sister Stephanie, both my sisters, actually all of my siblings. But Stephanie and I have always vibed really strong. And I just, she's my big friend, but she's also a very good friend. I love you so much, Stephanie. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. I would like to share this as well, that when it comes to my music, I released my second solo CD in 2004, originally on CD with a different cover. And then when I started to make records, starting around 2014 it was, I started with pressing up Dereck number 3, and then I wanted to go back and do it right. And so I went, and the next thing I did was Dereck number 2, and pressed it on vinyl, but I did it with a different cover. This is my sister Stephanie's artwork. Isn't that a beautiful painting? I love that. The colors, the shapes, the composition of it. And then on the back, that's me and Stephanie. I'm about 17 in that picture. So that would make her 19 or 20, maybe 18. We're both 18 or 20 in the picture. And she still has that wonderful glow as a person. So happy birthday, Stephanie. Celebrate people in your lives. People, celebrate yourselves. Really enjoyed the comments yesterday from people. So glad to know, as I know from the inside, that my path is a good one. I only had to delete 2 comments. One was an attempt to gaslight from someone who wasn't listening at all, and the other person wasn't listening at all either. And I will use the words that I choose, justifiably angry, and frustrated. Part of what's happened that's made things so bad is because of politics. We have seen the rise of stupidity and ignorance demanding an equal voice at the table when it's time to say, no, this is not a good idea. What you're saying is not good. It's bad. It's selfish. It's divisive. It's unhelpful. And no, we don't have to listen to this. Or more like, it's like someone needs to put your asses in check, because look at the chaos and the mess that the world is in as a result of political manipulation and propaganda. How can these things not be in your minds, folks, with what keeps happening? We go from one shit show to the next. The January 6th hearings, which aren't done yet, but we're not done with that dangerous, psychopathic son of a bitch. Yeah, I'll call him that. Horrible human being. And then now with the super right-wing, cold-blooded, hateful Supreme Court. Why did they do that? How is that progress to turn it back over to the states? Just, So, the only record that I played yesterday, because I played a couple records. I will do little projects, and I had company yesterday. Good company. But one of the projects that I'm working on is taking stuff that I've digitized from VCRs, VHS tapes to DVD, And now I'm taking personal stuff like video and pictures and stuff and transferring that stuff to USBs. Just a little fun project, using technology. Also, it's a small way of uncluttering, because as I transfer things, I can take several discs, CDs of material and put them on a USB. So I can throw those CDs away. I have a lot of clutter. I do. The house is organized, but there's a lot of stuff here. So with that, I was listening to a lot of my own music, watching old videos of my band RAF. Love that band. We are a good band. I also listened to most of Yesshows. Yes. And how did this come out yesterday? About 50%. I love this band. Some of their music has aged well. Other things are a little wonky to me. The recording quality of these shows are just shit. I had to EQ this. Good thing I go through a board, my old 4-track cassette, so I could EQ this, because the EQ was just horrid. Took away from the pleasant, because I love these songs. Gates of Delirium, Wondrous Stories, those are great songs. And on the other album that I listened to, I listened to some Miles Davis out in the other room. The record's not here to show you. With my company, we listened to some Miles Davis and some Brian Auger. But I played this while I was in here working on the DVDs. Akira Ishikawa and his Count Buffaloes with African Rock. This is a great album. These are studio musicians who would get their own dates under different names. And this one is, respectfully, these cats are trying to get a groove, get a funky groove. And there's some African voices on here. I don't know if they were recorded or if it was somebody they knew that they recorded in the studio, but this is very good. And it's really, quite a bit of it is laid back and this kind of this subtle groove, as opposed to, this is damn good. And makes sense why it's been so sought after by collectors over the years. Let me make sure there's nothing else down here I haven't shown. That Ian Carr Belladonna is very good. And I have the Higginbottom's wrench. So, what's up today? I do have a new project in mind. I'm not done with my album, although in ways I could say I'm done with my next album. I am being patient with my band members who I want to include on the album, but getting them to finish these sessions is like pulling teeth, because they're so busy and scattered in their own lives. And they're much younger than me, and I just have to respect how they're living. But again, in keeping everything in perspective, it's like I'm not in a hurry to do it at all now. I've made the music, and it's like, if it comes together, it does. I still listen to my new tracks every now and then, and they're holding up. Okay, you want some more music? I've been thinking about, if I can spot it right quick, I'll pull it. I haven't played it, but I've been thinking about this particular artist who I do want to pull and play. It's been a long time. Yes, in jazz. This particular trumpeter, Charles Tolliver. I have a couple of his albums. It's Paperman and The Ringer. And we don't hear much. He's not one of those names that you hear about. But he's quite the player. And he has good people. Well, of course, he's got Herbie Hancock, Gary Bartz, Ron Carter, and Joe Chambers on this album. Haven't played this in a while, but I know this is very good, so it's time to play this. It keeps popping up in my thoughts. Charles Tolliver. So here's a recommendation. I don't even have to play it anew to be able to tell you how good this is. Fine player with his own voice, not a Miles Davis copycat. That's been important to me in listening and looking for jazz, is not looking for copycats. I don't want people that want to sound like somebody else. That's why I like Woody Shaw and trumpet so much. Woody is a giant, and yet do people talk about Woody Shaw when it comes to jazz trumpet? You hear about Freddie Hubbard and of course Miles, but I like Woody Shaw better than Freddie. Freddie's badass, but I think there's even more gravity and even greater depth to what Woody Shaw lays down when he plays. Just my opinion, but check out some Woody Shaw. Don't have as much Shaw as I'd like to. Can I pull one? Excuse me. Yeah. Here's one by Woody Shaw, Stepping Stones. I could stand to get some more Woody Shaw in my collection. But there's one more that I want to mention if I can spot it real quick. Excuse me, folks. Okay. Come on, records. Work with me. Okay, something's out of order here, and so now I see I've got some work to do. My Joe Zawinul. Okay, and I'll notice that when you shift things, sometimes things. But Joe Zawinul's but his solo album on Atlantic, with just his face with the gray, black and white cover. The Woody Shaw solos on that album are exceptional. Really badass, so I'll recommend those as well. So I'm just going to keep it short today, mainly saying happy birthday to my sister Stephanie. Happy birthday to anybody else that's watching. Hope you're having a good life. I'm really glad that I'm who I am. That I'm not here attempting to increase the chaos and division because someone is profiting from it. That's why these things are happening. The division and the political madness wouldn't be happening if it wasn't because of selfish interest. And there's no reason for me to not speak on it, because it's affecting all of us. And my friend who visited yesterday, we talked about the looming recession. Shit, for some people we're in a recession, but of course that's how the news works, and it's like you always talk about things until it's complete shit, but we're already in a recession. I could just go on, so I'll stop. How about let me do one more quick poll in honor of Stephanie's birthday. So musically, when I think of my sister Stephanie, we were huge into the Beatles, but then my sister loves all kinds of music, and then as she got older, she was way into soul music and was buying a lot of stuff, and I would raid her collection many times just to find out what she's listening to and turn myself onto stuff that I wouldn't buy. But I always think of Stephanie when I listen to the Beatles and our childhood, the good parts of our childhood. Beatles always bring it up. let's do a pull. Let's do a pull over here where I just, like I say, I don't get over here. What did we get? Huh. Renaissance. I don't know if Stephanie, if you would necessarily like Renaissance. Annie Haslam. It's classically, yeah, you like classical music, but her voice, I'm not sure if you would go for her voice. I love her voice. This is someone who I've expressed interest in interviewing. There's a possible connection. I would love to talk to Annie Haslam about her career, and I wonder if she knows how she's regarded other than her hardcore prog fans. I'd love to talk to her. So, and this is a great album, Scheherazade and Other Stories. We can leave it right there, okay? People, have a wonderful day or evening whenever you see this.